Hey everyone, Jim Phoenix here, and Brannick and I did an episode for Memorial Day long ago, and lo and behold, between moving things around and shuffle, it got lost in the shuffle. I don't even know the movies on this thing. I have no idea what we did. I know we did something, and I hope you enjoy it. Enjoy it for our Labor Day special. Here we go. Labor Day, Memorial Day special. Cool. Hit it. Hey everyone, Jim Phoenix here, and boy, do we have a special episode for you, a Memorial Days episode. So, for all your veterans, I want to say, what's up? And
what's up?
What's up? We usually have a special guest. We are not having a special guest, but it's a special episode. And what we wanted, and as soon as I said that, I know we have a veteran on staff. Motherfucker! Really?
But he couldn't be here. We asked.
Yeah, he really couldn't be here. Yeah, he couldn't be here.
Yeah, we did ask.
I just felt like really shady. We did ask.
We salute him. We are proud of him. Thank you.
I don't know. He's a good dude for all I know. But we do support veterans. We actually have a veteran issue back when we were Ricky's Backyard. One of our issue was veteran. And then went to a couple of charities for them. But in this Veterans Day episode, it's a little different. Usually we do one borrowed, one new, one old, or blue. This time we're doing a top 4 veteran horror movies for.
I love how you say
Brannick
veteran. You're like veteran.
Veteran. How do you say it? How do you say veteran?
Veteran.
That's what I said. Veteran.
Veteran.
Am I saying the word veteran differently than you are?
I think so. I think this might be a Canadian/American problem. But we're coming together today to support veterans.
All the veterans out there, and some of the ones that just work on dogs and cats too. I think vets need love too. But with my co-host J.M. Brannick already said hello to make fun of the way I said the word veteran, I guess.
Hello.
Yay. Well, with that being said, we're just going to go back and forth. We're going to do a 4, 3, 2, 1, like our fourth, or, both do a 4, we'll both do a 3, 2, and like a top veteran must-see horror movie of all fucking time type thing.
Yeah.
Okay,
or that they have veterans in them.
They have veterans in them. Yes. Either or.
Yes.
Absolutely. Which kind of like made me want to do some other ones, but that's the hardest thing, honestly, was making just 4.
Yeah, there are a lot of good movies out there, honestly.
And some of them even have veterans in them.
Veterans
in them. All right, so what was your fourth one?
Okay, so my fourth one is the movie Overlord, which was in 2018. Yes.
With the Nazis?
Yeah, it does have Nazis in it. It is it's like on the eve of D-Day, and it's like a paratrooper squad. And basically like they're sent to like destroy like a German radio jamming station in this old church, and everything goes to hell. And basically it's Nazis and monsters.
Is
and
it zombies, or they're just, I vaguely remember.
They're kind of like monster zombies, kind of like,
okay.
What's that one game where they're monster zombies, but basically kind of like
Evil?
that. Yeah. So it's kind of like that. And I don't give away, I'm not going to give away too much, but it is really good. I actually saw it with my in-laws because my father-in-law is really into World War II and tanks and things like that. So it gave him something to really chew on. Me and my stepmom love horror, so it gave us something to chew on. And it was just like a really good movie of action and character development. And it was just it's a fun romp. And
Do you have the year for that?
Yeah, 2018.
2008.
Yeah. 18.
Oh my God.
18.
I know I saw
They're
that
legal.
like before. Well, I saw that before the pandemic. It seems so fucking long ago.
It seems like forever.
I thought it was like a 90s movie. Like, are you talking about the 90s or 80s movie? It's like a recent movie, like 2018.
It feels
Holy
like
shit.
20 years ago.
Yeah, absolutely. And I do remember this in the theater, and it was pretty good. Pretty good.
Yeah, it's a fun romp. Like it's not gonna change your world. But it is definitely a fun romp.
Yeah. What do you get the special effects? Because I know they have some special effects. It's not all just like monster makeup though, right?
No, there was a lot of CGI, but honestly, it was pretty well done. We'll see how it ages. But there was a lot of practical effects. And honestly, when it got to the monster part, because there was a lot of build up to get to that part.
Yeah.
Which was kind of nice because it did really set the tone of like, oh, okay, this is the 40s, and then when all this crazy stuff started happening, it was like very atmospheric.
Yeah, I likened it to not just the Resident Evil one, but there's actually a Escape from Cafe Wolfenstein or whatever it is.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Like 12,000. We're one of the newer ones where it's kind of like zombie heavy, and they kind of like I think it's more akin to that. It's almost exactly that fucking plot line.
Yeah, it's like it gets really into the action at that point.
Yeah, and I dug it. So, how many Cthulhu's you give it?
I would give it a solid 3.5.
Okay, that's pretty good.
A solid 3.5. It was a lot of fun.
And that's your number 4, right?
That is my number 4.
Oh, shit. Okay, then my number 4 is going to be... Oh, damn it. The last second, I want to bump one of my movies at the last fucking second. And
Why?
It's really hard because... I just this way. Now, my number 4 is Death on the Nile, 2022 Death on the Nile for Agatha Christie.
Oh.
The remake, I guess not the remake, but the thing of it with Kenneth Branagh in it. And it's like, while on vacation on the Nile, Hercule Poirot must investigate the murder of young Harris.
Hercule Poirot, he's Belgian.
Yeah, they make good waffles here. So we have this setting, but it's almost immediately after the murder on the Orient Express. So we had kind of run off Poirot because a lot of people played Poirot before. They had the great series with other people in there. And we have reoccurring characters of, book and stuff like that. So we see people grow from one movie to the other. And I'm not going to give away spoilers or anything like that, but the cast for these movies for Orient Express, and I don't know whose budget this is, but we've got Annette Bening, Kenneth Branagh, Russell Brand, Michael Roos, and it goes on a little bit. I'm not going to hit a bit with this. There's people that are just. It's bizarre. It's bizarre. I actually thought Wonder Woman's in this as well. For some reason, I can't see Wonder Woman. Who played Wonder Woman?
Oh my gosh! I think the most beautiful woman in the galaxy.
World? Yeah, I know. I can't remember her name. The most beautiful woman in the galaxy. I can't remember her name.
Who is a veteran?
Well, I guess she's Israeli, right? Gal Gadot.
Yeah, she was
veteran by default. Dawn French and Jennifer Saunders. Motherfucker! How did I not get this? I'm firing my agent if she wasn't dead. If my agent wasn't dead, I'd fire her ass. Sharon, you're fired.
Awkward.
Yeah, well,
get the Ouija board out.
She's been dead for a while. I mean, that's what it is. But it's directed by Kenneth Branagh, and it's it's decent. It's maybe arguably not as good as the Orient Express one, but it gives Poirot a better backstory. And Poirot is the veteran in this as well. So it gives him a backstory. It gives why he's so fucked up.
I really need to, and I kicked myself when it was in the theaters because I really needed to take my mom to go see these because she is a huge Agatha Christie fan. and I did not because I'm a terrible child. And I really need to update her on these because I think she would love to watch this because Hercule Poirot is her favorite.
Yep. You do murder first and then Nile second.
Yeah, she would.
You really need the murder first.
Super eat this up.
It might be on. Is it on Disney app or Apple Plus? I honestly can't remember. If anyone knows, call in. You guys can't call in. I'm just
Our number
kidding.
is 555-55. Go fuck yourself.
That's
Pain. Oh wait, that's Payne's number. That's Payne's number. Sorry,
he's actually not here today.
Thank God.
He's watching Obi-Wan Kenobi. So I'm giving this one. 3.5.
Okay.
3.5.
That's solid.
Yeah. So this is weird. We're both starting for number 4 is a 3.5. Okay. What's your number 3?
Okay, so this one might be a stretch. I don't think it's a stretch because there is a veteran in here and he plays a tremendous part in the movie. And it's an amazing movie. It's maybe one of my favorite movies. It is Jaws. And of course, I'm talking about Quint, who is on the USS Indianapolis.
Holy shit. I always thought it was pronounced cunt. Is Quint?
It's Quint.
No, man, I've been saying the name like it's like veteran. I just can't say that name.
You've been calling everybody Quint all these years,
all those days. Like that one, like the cunt jet. I think that's in a DC universe.
Yeah, just like
motherfuckers. Don't worry, veterans. We're gonna get you through some charities as well.
We have charities at the end, so please listen to the end.
Don't judge me.
But I have not seen the Nicolas Cage USS Indianapolis, which I need to really rectify one day. I need to have just a Cage moment and just watch all of his movies of just like the most ridiculous things. But of course, we get that wonderful like monologue from Quint, and where he talks about surviving and going into shark infested waters, and basically his backstory of why he hunts sharks and why he's in the water that day. And it's just very haunting. It's just an amazing role. You can see why he has so much luggage and baggage in his life. And it's not really resolved. I'm going to do so much writing on Jaws one of these days. It's in me, folks. It's in me, and it's going to come out in big ways.
In the pools or something like that. Beaches near you. Now, I have to ask, do you like this version better than the original Cruel Jaws?
Oh, man. Cruel Jaws was the original. That is true.
Hulk Hogan. Or as we know him, Hulk Hogan.
Hulk Hogan, and I believe the theme to Star Wars.
Part of it. Only part of it. As much as we can afford to.
The first 3 or 4 notes.
The name your tune version of fucking soundtracks, movie soundtracks.
Because Cruel Jaws was, just an amazing movie and an inspiration in my life. And honestly, the reason why I got my shark tattoo.
Cool.
But I have to say, I think I like Jaws better. I know it's like the sequel, like the knockoff of Cruel Jaws.
The whole 80s thing was.
I know.
Or 70s.
Well,
what year
it went into the past to make the knockoff, which was really rude of it.
Bastards. Those fucking bastards always do that shit.
Of course, my Cthulhu rating is like 1 million. It's a 5.
Your fucking third movie is 1 million Cthulhus out of 5?
Yes.
And if anyone's ever wants to see the special, there's actually a special what the shark looks like. It's basically like a shark top of like a motor, right?
Oh, there were 3 different sharks. There was one from one side, one from the other side, and one from the front, and they never worked. And so they named them Bruce after Spielberg's lawyer. So the name of my tattoo is he's Bruce.
Bruce. They call me Bruce.
And the name of my my car used to be Bruce as well.
A lot of Bruces.
Good Bruce. It's a good name.
Shit. That means
except for a lawyer.
I need to do a. All right, my number 3 movie is making me wonder why it's my number 3. There it is.
That's
My
never
number
good.
3 movie is House.
Oh yeah,
Not House MD, but the
MD?
original House. Yeah, from
Houseu?
85.
the Japanese
also.
Houseu?
No. Just
Oh,
House.
just House.
But I've seen it in the theaters. I've seen it kind of a rental somewhere like that. And I know it's starring Richard Mall from Night Court and George Wendt from Cheers. And
they play the same characters. It's really weird.
I think they honestly fucking do in this movie. It's been so long. And there's a guy, William Catt. Apparently he's in it. William Catt is in it. Fucking guy. And it's Roger Cobb as a Vietnam vet who has his career as a horror novelist, takes a turn for the worse when his son Jimmy mysteriously disappears while visiting his aunt's house. Roger's search for Jimmy destroys his marriage, his writing career. The sudden death of his aunt brings Roger back to the house where his nightmares began. The evil zombies in the house force Roger to endure a harrowing journey into his past. It's kind of a fucked up thing. Yeah.
This movie scarred me as a child.
Did it really?
Yes, it did.
It fucking reached out and said, "Gotcha, motherfucker."
It did. It scarred me in a lot of places that I need a doll to show where. No, like the fish on the wall when it flaps around. For some reason, that really resonated with young Box,
Whoa.
and it terrified me to having nightmares for like months.
Right. And I think you hit it on the head. Even though I remember vaguely what the movie's about, I remember scenes of the movie still. I remember the ghouly looking creature, which apparently is supposed to like the monster in the closet's design look like napalm bodies from Vietnam with bullets or fingers. That's from trivia from IMDb.com. But I remember the ghoulies and they're not the best. Like I watched the preview for the minute trailer. It's not the best makeup job in the world. I mean,
it did it for its time. It really did. And honestly, even now, there's a couple jump scares that are in it because I watched it not too long ago, a couple of years ago, and there's still a few jump scares that got me. Of course, I'm pretty prone to jump scares.
Well,
but
I think the jump scares will get me because I haven't seen it in like 40 years. So I probably would have forgotten about it. Like, oh, this looks so like, shit.
No, it's actually really good. And honestly, of course, when I was a kid, I didn't understand like the complexities of the Vietnam War,
right?
Or anything like that. So when he does start having his flashbacks, because that's what basically the house, it will find you. It will find your deepest fears is basically kind of what it is. And so it goes into his flashbacks of Vietnam and fighting, and it gets pretty goopy and gross and terrifying.
Yeah, it gets a bit weird. We didn't watch it that much in my family. But I will say this one, I would want to watch this one again. I do want to watch this one again.
We should do a Carnage à Trois.
And I might have a third person for Carnage à Trois.
Yeah. Oh, really?
Yeah. I don't know how.
Well, the chemistry has to be good. Because if we're going to Carnage this Trois.
We took chemistry together.
Huh?
Him and I took chemistry together in high school, if that helps.
Oh. Well, that might help.
His chemistry scores weren't that bad. Really. You know what? It's weird. Is this my number 3? But looking back, I'm going to give it like a 3, maybe it's a 3.5 again. It really should be. It wasn't like that much better than the Nile one. But
it's a really enjoyable movie.
Yeah, I would like to see it again. I would like to see it again. Maybe one day I'll do a whole update on this one.
Yeah,
but
you should.
That's my 3. What is your 2?
So my 2, I played by a little looser game in styles. My 2 is not really so much a movie as it is a show and also a movie.
Yeah.
But also a very specific part of a show and a movie, which is the Twilight Zone.
Okay. Reboot even. It's like a show, a movie, a reboot, and a reboot.
Well, kind of, but I'm talking about the original Twilight Zone.
So not the movie, but the TV show of William Shatner.
Well, yes, well, with William Shatner, but also there is that part in the movie as
Montreal
well.
own William Shatner.
Did it?
Not that we're Haunted Montreal, we're Haunted Metal, by the way, if anyone's wondering.
I always thought it was Motel, Haunted Motel.
Haunted Motel? I can kind of see MTL. Yeah, I can see it.
Yeah.
We should have a contest what the MTL stands for.
We should, honestly.
Mother Teresa.
Hey, everybody, go to, where are we on Twitter? Haunted MTL, at Haunted MTL, and tell us what the MTL should stand for.
Yes, we don't fucking know. We don't know.
We don't know.
So you are choosing.
I'm choosing
the OG Twilight Zone.
OG Twilight Zone and a little bit of the movie because they basically just took parts of the Twilight Zone show and just revamped it. And particularly the ones that Rod Serling had written because he had gone to war. It had changed him dramatically. He did earn a Purple Heart, a Bronze Star, and the Philippine Liberation Medal. And he had gone to war for quite a while. And when he had gotten out, a lot of his writing was affected by it. And he had PTSD, what we would now diagnose as PTSD.
Right.
And even after the war, this was like an interesting fact that I didn't even know about, which was like fucking ballsy as shit. To make extra money, he would part-time test parachutes, like jumping out with parachutes.
Yeah, that doesn't sound like PTSD at all.
That is horrific. And he would do this just before he got married. So
no. You start off easy and then go into the hard mode. I get it.
So
jump out
thankfully,
parachutes to test them, then you get married.
And honestly, too, like you could say that, you know, a lot of his experiences led to his untimely death at 50 because he would smoke a lot and drink a lot, too, especially smoke. They would say 3 or 4 packs a day just to get through the day. So, but a lot of it, like I said, his writing was affected of it. I tried to get some of the Twilight Zones, but I wasn't able to get like a full list. But a lot, like I said, a lot of them were like King 9 Will Not Return, The Man in the Bottle. At the end, it had something to do with World War II.
Yeah.
And a lot more of his stuff just had stuff to do about war, which is funny because as a young box, I really liked the Twilight Zone. And the funny thing, it was always the war ones that just really turned me off. I was like, yeah, no, cool, no thanks. And those were the ones he was most passionate about. Those were his like passion project ones. So I'm glad that it gave him catharsis.
Yeah.
I know that I'm in a class right now that's talking about health and psychology, and they do talk about how writing things does lower like your cholesterol, your blood pressure, and things like that when you have a traumatic event. So
I have to start writing some shit then.
Everybody start writing shit. But I thought that was great, and I'm glad that he shared that gift with us as well.
Well, here's the thing about Rosner that most people don't know. That, well, most people should know this part. The stories he created are still the ones we kind of rip off and retell.
Mm-hmm.
Like the gremlin on the fucking, all those things like that, the Man in the Bottle. These are the things that we still try to retell in our own movies and our own TV shows and as we go on spin off. But the second thing, and I'll have to find the episode, but I'm too lazy. There's no way I'm doing this. So if someone else wants to tell me what the episode it is, it'll be awesome. That our former co-host, Voodoo Priestess, before she went to Korea? I don't know. North, South, whatever Korea.
Middle
Korea? Yeah, she went
East.
to Middle Korea. And yeah, unfortunately, she probably should check the Expedia page on that one. But she brought up I believe it was old, where it was Rod Serling being the not the DJ, but the MC of a horror collection that was obviously had no idea about any of the fucking things he was supposed to introduce. He was just doing it like, I don't know, it's almost for the money, or it was like old Twilight Zone things that just didn't make the Twilight Zone, so they reskinned them as something else. And it was, I guess, the most interesting part of that film collection was just him.
Are you sure it wasn't Night Gallery? Because some of those Night Galleries, hoo-wee.
I don't know, but I guess
kidding.
Voodoo got it from like the discount box at a Kmart. And it was
There's
like
Kmart still.
Well, in North Korea, that's a new thing.
Fair enough.
So what were you giving Rod Serling? That one too.
I'm going to give him 5, of course.
5?
A 5. Oh
man.
It's the Twilight Zone. God. It is classic. And again, him putting his spin and his voice into it as a veteran, I think is amazing. And he was also told, to shut up a lot of times and to back down, especially when things were heating up in the Vietnam War. And he refused to because of the things that he had seen and experienced, firsthand.
New York's finest. All right. So I have to follow that with this one. Oddly, this one's a war film that I remembered our theme is all war themes. Holy crap, is it a long day, man. It's just been a long day.
Happy Veterans Day.
Memorial's Day.
Veterans. Oh, yeah. Memorial Day of Veterans.
Yeah. So this one brings me back to when I was a kid. I think I watched this in a theater. I know I've seen it a couple times on TV, but the original from 1984, PG-13, hour 54 minutes, Red Dawn.
Oh, wow.
And now get this. It's got such a far out fucking wackadoodle plot line where people are just like going by their own business and Russia invades a peaceful country. That would never happen. 84. What you imaginations you fucking bastards had. You sweet bastards had.
Wasn't it like a school too of school children?
Yeah, I guess Russia was shooting school children back in 84 as well. So this one has, check this cast out. Patrick Swayze and Charlie Sheen, Jennifer Grey, Harry Dean Stanton. These are amazing. C. Thomas Howell. They're amazing. Powers Booth is in this. Holy crap. There are a lot of great people in this film. And you catch them, Leah Thompson, you catching them early in their career. But I have to say, I think I said Jennifer Grey already. If I didn't, Jennifer Grey.
You did, which that blew me away, to be honest.
Jennifer Grey and Patrick Swayze, this is their first film before Dirty Dancing.
Whoa. Oh.
And she actually didn't want him on Dirty Dancing because of this film and the shit he used to pull on set. Not like the main shit, kind of like always in character, like hyped up. And like if you ever watched Red Dawn, if you haven't watched Red Dawn, just turn on fucking the news right now. Imagine everyone in Ukraine's like fucking high schoolers.
I thought you were going to say
the Russian army. That's high schoolers.
That he was like method acting his character in Dirty Dancing. And I'm like, that's not terrible though.
Yeah,
but I get it now.
The Dirty Dancing audition kind of like, or when they first met for Dirty Dancing and started dancing together, it kind of melted her a bit because there's the other side of it.
Melted her in all the right places.
Well, it helps. So this one, I have to say, I don't know. I don't know because I like the cast in this one and the action is great. And I think the writing, I have not really gotten through the remake. I've tried the remake and it was just dog shit to me. I was like, oh, remake. And the reboot of the remake on my TV set now, I just can't watch it anymore. I have to watch it, but I'm just tired of fucking remakes. Can we not have Russia invade a fucking country for like, I don't know, a day? That'll be nice.
I heard that the remake is PG-13.
I wish the remake was PG-13.
No, I think the remake was PG-13.
Oh, I was making the very semi joke that what Russia's invasion of Ukraine was the remake.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, but I don't think that was PG-13. Although I
blonde.
hear 13-year-olds are what Russia's using next, or 13-year-olds. So
Do they
there's always
still
that
have
one.
gas? I thought they ran out of gas a long time ago.
No, Russia has a ton of they sell it.
No,
They sell it. It's kinda
they
like
kept running. Their tanks kept running out of gas. Ukraine.
of Hitler.
No, I'm thinking of Russia because the Ukraine went onto eBay and were selling Russian tanks on eBay. It was hilarious.
I'll have to buy one day. But I have a question. I have a question to all your fans out here. Such a stellar cast, but you don't hear much from them anymore. Jennifer Grey here, one or two things, but like Patrick Swayze and like Harry Dean Stanton, for the careers that they're so promising careers, I haven't seen the Patrick Swayze movie in years. I have no idea what he's up to. And same for Harry Dean. Harry Dean was actually active for a while and just fucking stopped out of nowhere. It's kind of sad. It might be the reboot curse. I'm not sure. I think movies get reboots. The original stars just stop acting for a while. It's hard to get jobs. You could get typecasted as like the dirty dancing Wolverine guy. I think that's what happens.
Yeah, we'll talk after this episode.
Okay. So I'm going to give this one almost a 4, but I'm still going to, I'm like 3.8. 3.8 Cthulhu's.
Okay.
And it says box is offline on my end. No idea why. I can still hear box, but I hope that God is recording.
I hope it is recording as well.
Otherwise, this is going to be like, guess what? It's like that one episode where no one could hear anyone else.
Yeah, that was with Dave.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, no idea. No idea. So this might be either good or horrific. We're not sure which.
Well, it's going to be horrific because it's like Streamin' Demons, but...
Yeah. So if you guys heard myself, who the fuck knows? Who the fuck knows? All right,
maybe
so...
that's the plot twist. I was in your imagination the whole time.
Maybe
it'd be a real Jacob's Ladder scenario, which is also about war.
Well, yes, I have been working out lately. Thank you for noticing, Box. That's very nice of you. Wow, Box is just giving compliment left and right now. Oh my God, how sweet of you. Oh, making me blush. Stop. Yes, fine. You can take me to Mom's Spaghetti when I go to Detroit. There'll be no problem. All right,
I know you said Mom's Spaghetti, but it sounded like you said Monster Spaghetti.
Monster Spaghetti, whichever.
Yeah.
It's all goodness. So, Box, what is your number one movie?
My number one movie that I thought fit this theme perfectly for the theme was VFW, which is a 2019 action horror film, which I might be double dipping. I did do a review on the Haunted MTL site, but it's really good. It's really good. VFW, Veterans of Foreign Wars.
No, I don't think it stands for Very Fine Women, Box. I don't know if that's the right VFW should be watching.
So, it has a stellar cast. It has...
stellar.
It does. It has Stephen Lang, who is in...
Artie Lang's in this one? Oh my God.
Lang.
How old is this movie?
He was in Don't Breathe, so a lot of people know him as that. And William Sattler is in this as well.
William Shatner?
No.
Lord, this is a stacked cast. Artie Lang and William Shatner did a movie together.
He was Death in Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey and Face the Music. He was also in Iron Man 3 and Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., but I didn't watch Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. But anyway, Martin Kove, which he is in Cobra Kai. And of course,
Martin Lawrence? Kid. Wow. This is a weird fucking collection there, Box. Are you sure you got these names right, Box?
It's a great collection.
Artie Lang, William Shatner, and Martin Lawrence are in this movie. Very Fine Women.
Fred Williamson. And he used to play football, American football. But then he went into acting, and he played a lot of blaxploitation films in the 70s. And just a lot of interesting choices in his films. I think the last film that I saw him in, he was in Half Nelson, And
wait, Half Nelson, a TV show, right?
no, oh yeah, it was a TV show.
Based on like kids, right?
I think so.
Like a Punky Brewster type thing, or Silver Spoon.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. So VHW, besides Very Fine Women, which I don't think you got that name correct there, Box. But what is VHW to you?
So what it is it's a VHW hall. It's somebody's birthday, the main character's birthday that day. And he's going in to go and hang out with his friends at the local VHW hall, the FW hall. And unfortunately, there's a gang new in town, and a lady escapes from it. And the gang is not very happy because she has some information on them. And so they go into this, establishment trying to grab her and basically take her out. And these veterans are like, fucking no. And they're like, hey, old man, basically. And so it's one of those where they have to protect themselves, their establishment, their values, their beliefs. And there's actually, it's kind of cute. There's a new guy too. He's like a new veteran. He's a younger kid. And basically them take him under their wing. And it's I don't want to say it's a fun movie because it's kind of not a fun movie. It is good. It's gripping. It's thrilling. There are a lot of like twists and turns, but it is also, it's cathartic in a way because it is kind of cool to see these older actors and these older people like beat the shit out of people. Especially like these like young punk types, so it is kind of like, it's like when you go and you watch like, something online where it's like old man beats up like, this kid trying to rob him or something like that. And it's because, they think that this old man is a target because of his age. But think again, because like it turns out he was like a Navy SEAL back in the day. So it's something kind of cathartic in that, to where it's like where a vulnerable mass of people is suddenly not vulnerable. I guess in the same way where it's like a little bit like I Spit on Your Grave or something like that, to where it's like something that you maybe not even that, but where you think something ticked off tease.
Yeah. TikTok.
Where you think like people are going to be vulnerable. Although I would have to say with TikTok tease, it wasn't as cathartic. Although that one girl, she was great with her high heel and everything. But it is something that is really enjoyable in watching, these assholes get the shit beaten out of them by a vulnerable population. So, I'm not going to spoil anything. You can also read my review on it on the website, but it had a lot of fun lighting, a lot of good acting, and it was just a great movie. I believe I gave it 3 stars, and I would like to probably give it 3 stars again.
Nice. That's pretty cool because you're right. I like those movies as well. That's why I like some of the Danny Trejo movies. He did like the loner guy who just wants to be, the loner who wants to be left alone. Like, hey, old man, and they pick on him, they beat the shit out of everyone. Like, it's not quite Machete because Machete like this like a superhero.
Yeah,
but it's more of like the old guy, just he did with one of Danny Glover. They combine like I think it's like 2 old fucks combined. I think that might have been the catchphrase for it.
I was trying to think of the one where it's like a home invasion movie and like the girl turns out to be, she was part of like a naturalist survival cult. And so like she knows how to like kick the shit out of people. I'm trying to think of it. It was filmed in Missouri, but it was such a good movie. But it was kind of like in that vein where it's like, it is very, I think.
Like A Quiet Place where the guys of deaf.
I think a lot of times too, people who are in, a minority kind of have that feel like, because a lot of times people are like that are bullied or something like that. And it is nice to just be like, yeah, fuck those assholes up. Like, we want to see that. We want to see old man, Stephen Lang beat the shit out of some kid.
Yeah.
He deserves it.
I can get with that. Shit. So I'm going to do my number one movie, which is weird because you did mention Jacob's Ladder, and I was going to mention Merry Christmas, Mr. Lawrence with Bowie from the World War II movie, and which was, if you haven't seen Mr. Lawrence, you should probably see it. But my top horror, and this is actually horror, people say, how the fuck is this horror? It's going to be Rambo First Blood.
Oh,
1982.
Yeah,
Sylvester Stallone. It's horror because if you ever live with a Vietnam vet, or probably, I don't know, any vet maybe nowadays, you kind of see a lot of those people in the movie. And especially, I know people who connected with the movie because they just want to be left the fuck alone. And especially for Vietnam, people were not really welcomed home at all. Mm-hmm. So we have Sly Stallone versus Brian Dennehy, and there's even a really weird, a little bit when he's a young kid. David Caruso's in this one as well. I kind of like blew my mind.
I did not.
Patrick Stack. I knew Patrick Stack was in it, but David Caruso, I didn't. I blanked it out.
That blows my mind.
Young he was in that fucking film.
Was it like 12?
I think so. So if you haven't seen it, it's like a veteran from Veteran Green Beret is forced by a cruel sheriff and his deputies to flee into the mountains and wage an escalated one-man war against his pursuers. Now, David Morrell was one of the writers based on a novel by, but I'm going to tell you, if you read the book, it don't end the same as the movie.
Oh.
The book has a very definitive ending to it. And the movie allows sequels. There's not a little, you can figure out, but there's a little bit of spoilerific there for the book, and it's a bit of a trip. Now, it's Rambo. Rambo has actually become like a name, a phrase. You go, Rambo on him is Rambo. It has become a cultural icon. It's got Sly between that and Rocky. That's his two hugest franchises, and now the Expendables, which my dad used to love, by the way, the Expendables. And I guess Expendables 4 coming out soon. So we have all these things. If you're into a movie where maybe you want to see into a little bit of psychology of what people going through PTSD will be going through, and you also want to see some action, First Blood is pretty decent for it. And yes, there are small times like that. Yes, people were not really welcome back from the Vietnam War at all. And yes, people had a chip on their shoulder because of it. And I think deservedly so to have a little bit of edge, because if you fight for a homeland and they don't want you, what the fuck? And I think Sly actually makes some of the quotes like, nothing is over. And for many people, nothing really was over. So I'm giving this one a 4.8 Cthulhu's. It's not a perfect 5. I have to see it and so like that, but there's some things that are still on the superhero side for Rambo. But 4.8 Cthulhu's, it's all well done, lighting, acting, all sorts of stuff, and the special effects, there actually are special effects. Check it out. 4.8 Cthulhu's. Now, do you have any, like, not horror movies, but movies that are about veterans or something like that you want to mention that are not horror related, as we kind of like swing down?
I just want to point out that in Surf Nazis Must Die, that the main protagonist, Mama Washington, she's a widow of a veteran.
Oh. She's a widow veteran? So she's like what, 5 foot tall? She's a widow veteran?
No. But
sorry.
she is a badass.
She's a badass, but widow people can be badass. Why did you diss some widow people for, man?
Okay.
Widow people too. All right, then I guess mine will be Hacksaw Ridge with James Garfield.
Yeah.
Or Andrew Garfield, not James Garfield. What the fuck, man?
Some Garfield. Or Garfield the cat, actually. Garfield, I think he's in it.
Yeah. And
I think he says "war is hell." I think in that movie.
Probably, but that was one of my dad's favorite movies was Hacksaw Ridge. And it's funny because if you ever watch it, it is about a guy who basically gets his ass kicked for like hours upon end trying to save people's lives. Wow, we did all our stuff by then. Holy crap. So now comes to the part where we say our plugs. Brannick, what do you want to plug?
I want to plug because study after study after study has shown that animals really do help, especially if trained, people with anxiety, PTSD, depression, all of these things. And unfortunately, veteran services do not provide these services for veterans. They don't provide service animals. So it's usually at the cost of the veteran. So there are groups out there that you can donate to get these animals to, especially dogs. And these really, really do change their lives because they have been trained on how to help them, how to react. And like I said, it helps with the mental health and the well-being of the people. So one place you can go is K9, and that's like a 9. It's not like spelled out. So K9S for warriors. So K9s for warriors.org.
Cool.
And you can go ahead and donate money to basically supply a dog because it takes like $25,000 in total to train a dog. So please go do that. Like I said, studies have definitely shown this absolutely helps people, veterans in need, or wounded warriors.
Well, that's very cool. Now, I will have to say one thing. I won't give a fucking dollar to Wounded Warriors. I know you're using the tagline for Wounded Warriors, but their CEO takes most of the money. You're basically paying for that guy's fucking cruises.
Okay, but I've given to them before, but I don't know the percentages.
Yeah,
I'll be honest.
It ain't good.
Okay,
but I love service dogs, and I think that's an important thing. I'm very glad that we can support that. And now I feel kind of weird about mine. I'm gonna plug my shoes. I got some very cool hiking boots. This is one of my 3 plugs. Very cool hiking boots from Zero Shoes, XER Shoes, SHOR. Jesus. Zero Shoes, XEROSHOES.com. I've got the Excursion Fusion for men. They're new hiking boots. I love them. They're lightweight. I tried them out today. I burned some holes through some mountains, and they're waterproof. And that's all I need from them. So I used to have my dad's shoes, and I still do. Like, Phil might fill his shoes. Like, I kind of did. Like, literally fill the shoes until I wore out the bottom. So thank you very much to Zero Shoes for finally getting some boots out to me. And I only know about Zero Shoes because of PowerNationFitness.org. That's Tony Horton's thing. And Tony Horton's huge with vets. And he's probably doing something on the base. I don't know. You have to check out Tony Horton's timeline, not mine. So PowerNationFitness.org is another one. And if you are in Wisconsin, the High Ground, Veterans of Memorial Park, they do need donations. They are expanding, and it is for all veterans, including and especially Vietnam Veterans Tribute Fragments. And there's other vets there, everything from the older wars to the newer wars. There's no shortage of vets. There's no shortage of war. So that is thehighground.us. Okay, those are my plugs. And on behalf of myself, Jim Phoenix, and my co-host, J.M. Brannick, we wish you a very happy Memorial Day, even though this won't come out until next week.
Yeah, so, and so happy Pride, basically.
Yeah, happy Memorial Pride Day. All right. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.
I hear a cat.